Do I say welcome back?
I don't even know what this is called.
Shade Life Lives.
Oh, Shade Life Lives.
Yeah, just a live discussion. It's not really live because it's not like being...
Welcome to our home.
Welcome home.
No, that's church. I said welcome to our home.
Welcome to this home. Our home.
Our home. Welcome to our home.
All right.
Another Shade Life.
I like that.
See?
Good job, Miss Branding. Mrs. Branding.
Almost.
That sounded weird.
Yeah.
I was trying to go with something.
It's okay.
Anywho, okay, so this has been in my mind for like the past couple of days, which is how much dance has. Okay, we can go about two ways. It's either how much dance has been a huge, I guess you could say, inspiration and push towards everything you ever do in your life, and also the love-hate relationship you have with dance.
Oh gosh, are you sure you want to do this?
I don't know.
I feel like this is gonna take a long time.
It may.
Might have to do this in 2 parts.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's get as far as we can before our kid wakes up.
Yeah.
How about that one? Okay.
We'll do that.
Because we should just end every conversation with Bodhi waking up. So whenever Bodhi wakes up,
he's awake.
Okay.
You know, like that
Got
kind
it.
of stuff.
Well, we don't have a... Okay, whatever.
No, that's fine. We'll hear at the door.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. All right, so one of the things I always say is that the best thing about dance culture...
Keeps you young.
Is it keeps you young. The worst thing about dance culture is it keeps you young.
Mm-hmm.
I find it... I mean, I feel like I'll always be somewhat judgmental towards our friends and... You know,
of course.
People coming up, and as much as you don't judge, we're all judgmental, so get off my back. But there's this, like,
level.
Even for yourself, you have this, oh yeah, it keeps you young. And then you also struggle with staying young, like
stagnant.
You're like, there's got to be more than just this. And at the same time, you're like, no, this is life.
Yes.
It's this weird, like, how long do you keep doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I never want to stop doing this.
Mm-hmm. It's a love-hate relationship sometimes.
Yeah, I have this, like, I don't know if it's because I've just been doing it since I was a teenager, that this is like all that I know, how to live, or if it's just like this honest, I just love this shit and I can't see myself not doing it. I don't know. I find myself where I really want to excel in other areas of my life, but the moment I go to excel in those areas of my life and I lose touch with my culture of dance, I get very unhappy. But if I stay too long and overly consumed in my culture of dance, equally I get just as unhappy because I'm not progressing outside of it.
Right. There's a balance that you have to, a fine line that you have to kind of figure out.
Yeah.
Of how to balance the two. Like you always say, marry the two, you know? But how do you do that well?
I don't think there's an equation to it.
No.
I mean, you do kind of balance. You go back and you go forth. Like, for example, me getting into more on-screen talent, and you also with modeling and on camera stuff. There's an aspect where you understand art so much because you're a dancer.
Right.
Art is, dance is performance. Dance is artistic, it's expression. So you know so much about what other crafts already encompass because that is a part of our culture, coming up as dancers. So you feel at home there. But there's so many other details within acting that is not dance.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's very similar. And then you're like, I need to go focus on these things. I need to learn those things. So I found myself in the last couple months, as I've been studying the craft of acting, that I can't actually understand things fully until I understand as a dancer first. But then I start like falling in love again with dance. And then
you're like, should I be doing this?
Yeah, am I living this life again?
Right.
And it's a life I'm always going to live. But it's also this place that is my lifestyle. It's not my career. I do this passionately, the same way that I would say, like, when you go to your grandma's house and they're playing, salsa music. You're not a professional salsa dancer, but this is just home.
Right.
That's what dance culture is. This is home for us.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our friends are dancers.
Mm-hmm.
Our close friends are dancers.
Mm-hmm.
We just get each other. We connect in that way. There's no other individual.
You kind of don't have to try. You just get each other.
It just is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you feel at home there. But
Yeah.
then there's this other weird feeling of something else.
Right. There's something more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been there creatively? Like, struggling with that lately?
Well, it has been a while since I've immersed myself into dance in a very long time.
Well, you're starting to dibble and dabble back into it.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's been a while, so I feel like now something, it's interesting how certain life events or events that you go to that can change something.
Yeah.
Or spark something. I always just try to say to keep yourself available in that capacity of just like learning something new or being like trying something new or going someplace. And you've helped me out a lot because I wasn't always like that. But I feel like when something changes in you, it's like you can't deny it.
Yeah.
And you spend time trying to figure out what that feeling is and what that looks like. But it's so funny when you try. I feel like it's been our life journey. It's just like every time we've ever tried to step away from dance or, life happens and we're going in a different direction at one point, and dance somehow always creeped itself back into our world.
Yeah.
And I feel like if there's something in your soul, I was just telling my girls this tonight, like if there's something in your soul or something you feel like you are just, you like the feeling of dance that it's brought to me, even on the dance floor, on stage, whatever it was, to whatever capacity, it still is there.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever, it's like a muscle memory, you just pick it back up. And so for me, I just feel like this journey, like it's now fully coming back into my life, but in a new way. And it's weird, but it's exciting and scary all at the same time. Mm-hmm. But it's something that I couldn't, like, I didn't search for it. It just found me.
I know. That's the deeper spiritual side of any art form, but especially dance. It's this like creativity itself is like you actually, like when you go about doing it, you can't create something. Mm-hmm. You can only stumble upon ideas. It just happens.
Right.
And that's like what dance is. Dance is not cultivating a moment. It's just being in a moment.
Right.
And then you find like that very lesson translates to so much of art. It translates to parenthood. Mm-hmm. You can't be, you can't try to be like a better parent. I mean, you can, but like in that case. But really, being the best parent is just being present in a moment.
Right. Being there.
Exactly, and not being anywhere else or trying to improve in so much in this and that. It's crazy. I think that as I'm saying all of this out loud, maybe it's not necessarily like the spirit of a dancer that like I'm so connected to. I think it is the childlike features that come with being a dancer.
You're free, you let go, you're not thinking, you're just being.
Like you said, you're a student again.
Yep.
You see the world in like awe and wonder. Right?
So differently.
You're not looking at life in this capacity of like everything is like, well, that's your career.
Right.
That's life. That's the end. There's always this like, oh, it's wonderful. It's beautiful. And then, oh, but wait, there's more.
Yeah.
And I think that it's just always wanting that experience. I mean, the last couple of sessions that we've gone to, dance just getting done, not even competitions, it just kind of reopens your mind and your heart to, man, there's such wonderful people out in the world. There's got to be more. And the truth is, you can experience that in all sorts of forms of art, but there's something about being a teenager and going to an event, whether it's a competition or a session or a practice or a class, and then talking to someone like, oh, you're from the other part of the world, you don't speak my language, and you're a teenager or your early 20s and you're like, wow, there's a lot more than my block.
Yes.
And it creates this sense of like fear and also excitement at the same time. And you realize
curiosity.
It's because you're living, you're
Right.
alive in this moment.
Right.
And that's what I find that I want.
Yeah.
And I think it's why we travel so much, or
Mhm.
try to travel as much as possible, is because it brings on that feeling of awe and wonder. It brings on this feeling of there's so much more out there, and also there's a fear and also an excitement at the same time. And you realize that's just living.
Right.
You want to feel alive when you're dancing. You want
Right.
to feel alive when you're living,
Right.
versus just existing.
Right.
And maybe that's what it is about dance, and maybe that's what maybe discourages me in other areas of growth, is I feel like an old adult.
Yes. Well, a lot of things don't allow you to be truly who you are inside. Like, I think art in general, like anybody in the arts, but for me, I can only speak because dance has been my art form.
Yeah.
That you truly see the uniqueness of a person
Yes.
and how they come alive within their art form. I love anybody I can see fulfill their passion and like see them in their element. It brings me to life
Yeah.
because I'm like, they're doing what they love to do.
Yes.
And to me, that's success. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you can truly just do what you love to do, not for any other reason than to do it.
Not a paycheck, not a career change, an adjustment, increase in societal value. Yeah,
And I think that's where I'm at now, is relearning that, because, you know, I did that.
Yeah.
I worked for a paycheck, and my art, I started to get burnt out. And then I was like, I need to fall back in love with my form, my art. But now I'm learning a different side of dance that I haven't
Yeah.
really, because of you. Thank God you introduced me to this whole new world.
A whole new
You can put that, you can insert that later.
That's copyright infringement.
But it's showing me, like, that's how I felt, like, experiencing that event we went to was like, there is so many unique people out here, but at the same time, like, I felt like I didn't have to say anything, but they got me and I got them.
Yes.
Like, it was just this weird thing that you can't deny those moments, you know? You can't label it, you can't try to explain it. You just are like in it, and you're in that moment, and you're like, I want to keep feeling this.
I know.
I don't want to lose this feeling, you know?
Yeah.
But that also takes time, like the time that we took to self-analyze ourselves, to sit with ourselves, to figure out those things, which we're still doing. I don't think that'll ever change or end. But that helped us to be able to experience these kind of
No, for sure.
moments,
Yeah.
you know, because you're opening yourself up to things.
Yeah. What is it that Nate says? Tunzuno, he says the creative.
Ooh.
He says that too. He says the creative adult is the child that survived.
Yes.
And I think that's like, you know, from the beginning of the conversation, it's dance, or let's just say art. You know, art keeps you young, and the bad side of it is that it keeps you young.
Right.
And there's a part where you do have to mature and
Yes.
grow and have progress within your life.
Make sure your bills are paid.
Yeah,
Basically.
but it also doesn't mean you have to get old
Yes.
here.
Absolutely.
You can still enjoy the world and others like a child.
Mm-hmm.
Make jokes, have fun, experience new things, and also see the world in a sense of awe and wonder that others don't. I mean, look at Bodhi, like our son. Anything, he's like, "What's that?"
Right.
When we were driving, and he saw a fire truck, and he's like,
Oh, yeah.
he's like, "Mom, what's that?"
Like, so excited. Or even a big dinosaur. He was like, oh, big dinosaur, and he wants to keep seeing it. But even as simple as Bodhi, like when I see him dance and just like want to always be in the middle and just let go, like he doesn't care. He doesn't care about what anybody thinks.
I know.
of
We're
him.
like, hey man, do something else, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna keep doing the same.
I'm gonna be
move
true to myself.
over and over because
This
y'all
is
ain't
who I
teach me
am.
nothing. Just let me be free, Dad.
But it's been cool to see and almost inspiring because I'm like, that's what it means to be like a child.
Yeah,
like,
that's
you don't care.
childlike.
You don't care what anybody thinks. You're not worried about followers, likes. You just feel something and you want to express it.
And that's the I don't know. Yeah, whatever. That's a thing these
Yes.
days. Is cameras, photography, social media, filmmaking. This is art.
Right.
But it's also at the mercy of followers and likes and fame.
Right.
And that's not to say that we don't want that as well. That's not to say that it is wrong to want that. But because it's right there, all of us over focus on the payout more than the process, the
Right.
progress that comes within it.
Right.
And the real joy of artistic mediums is not creating anything. It's just creating.
Right.
Waking up every day and having something to look forward to. That's joy. And sometimes you don't look forward to it because you want something out of it.
Right.
It's a transactional perspective that comes with that. I've been there. I'm still there in a lot of ways. I'm not going to lie. I think we all are. But that's where I think when it comes to creative lifestyles and careers, you really have to battle that. You have to struggle with that, which is, yes, progress and make money doing it,
Right.
but never lose that
Sight.
spark. Yes, never lose. I don't even want to say the why, because the why is simple. It's just loving it.
Right. Right.
And that's it. Nice. All right. That was good. I think we went through a whole conversation without our son waking up.
I know.
That's good. But we'll do that. We'll just talk, and then if he wakes up, that's the end of the conversation.
Okay.
If he doesn't, we'll just go till
He wakes up.
I guess so.
Or we finish.
Awesome. Lots more to talk about, but I love this.
Yeah, for sure.
I love you.
I love you.
Love you guys. I don't know what that was. Like I was like, yes. Great job.
What's the saying? You don't have to leave. No, you don't stay.
You don't have to go home, but you gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Bye.
I don't know if we should leave like that.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm just kidding. Come again. See you soon.
Get out of here. We'll figure out a way to say goodbye
Bye-bye.
properly.
Adios.
Why are you leaning in? It's a wide shot.
Oh. It's so I can see myself. My bad. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, I love it.
Love you guys. Bye.